A 22nd Sunday in Ordinary Time, from the book of Sirach. My child, conduct your affairs with humility, and you will be loved more than a giver of gifts. Humble yourself the more, the greater you are, and you will find favor with God. What is too sublime for you, seek not. Into things beyond your strength search not. The mind of a sage appreciates proverbs, and an attentive ear is the joy of the wise. Water quenches a flaming fire, and alms atone for sins. The word of the Lord. Our second reading is from a letter to the Hebrews. Brothers and sisters, you have not approached that which could be touched, and a blazing fire and glooming darkness, and storm and a trumpet blast, and a voice speaking words such as those who heard begged that no message be further addressed to them. No, you have approached Mount Zion and the city of the living God, the heavenly Jerusalem, and countless angels in festal gathering, and the assembly of the firstborn enrolled in heaven, and God the judge of all, and the spirits of the just made perfect, and Jesus, the mediator of a new covenant, and the sprinkled blood that speaks more eloquently than that of Abel. The word of the Lord. Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. On the Sabbath, Jesus went to dine at the home of one of the leading Pharisees, and the people there were observing him carefully. He told a parable to those who had been invited, noticing how they were choosing the places of honor at the table. When you are invited by someone to a wedding banquet, do not recline at table in a place of honor. A more distinguished guest than you may have been invited by him, and the host who invited both of you may approach you and say, "Give your place to this man." Then you will proceed with embarrassment to take the lowest place. Rather, when you are invited, go and take the lowest place, so that when the host comes to you, he may say, "My friend, move up to a higher position." Then you will enjoy the esteem of your companions at the table. For everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. Then he said to the host who invited him, "When you hold a lunch or a dinner, do not invite your friends or your brothers or your relatives or your wealthy neighbors, in case they may invite you back and you have repayment. Rather, when you hold a banquet, invite the poor, the crippled, the lame, the blind. Blessed indeed will you be because of their inability to repay you, for you will have been repaid at the resurrection of the righteous." The Gospel of the Lord. This gospel passage reminds me of an ordination reception I went to many, many years ago. And as I walked into the hall, I looked to the furthest point from where the head table was, went down there and sat at the table, feeling that I was safe and no one would bother me. But another priest came in that I knew. He saw the head table and figured it was for the clergy. He went over and sat there. Just before we started, someone went up and whispered in his ear. What they told him is he was not at this table. He got up and walked all the way to the back of the hall, ended up sitting next to me. Jesus and Mary are the best examples we have of humility. Jesus, St. Paul states, he did not consider his divinity something to be grasped at, but rather emptied himself and took the form of a slave. Jesus began his life on earth in humility as a human, born of a virgin. Mary's humility was displayed at the Annunciation, when even though she didn't fully understand the angel's message, she accepted God's will. Luke's gospel people see Jesus saw people jockeying at the best positions at a banquet. Jesus is speaking scripturally about honors being bestowed, given, or conferred. The person receiving honors from the banquet master is like the person receiving a grace from God. grace, heaven, the presence of God, salvation, goodness, all this comes from God, not from some action we have done to have a right to them. St. Teresa of Avila, founder of the Discalced Carmelites and the first woman doctor of the Church, wrote many spiritual books, but her masterpiece is called The Interior Castle, in which she describes the mystical life through 7 mansions. That first mansion is humility. What a special attitude humility is for all of us. Couples should be more humble toward each other, seeing only what is important to the other and not to themselves. How many marriages would survive with this attitude? How many peaceful lives would there be in this world if other religions would use their faith not to dominate or to destroy others, but to serve instead? Jesus' invitation for people to invite the poor, the lame, the crippled, the blind reminded me of the saying on the Statue of Liberty, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses, yearning to breathe free, the wretched refuse of your teeming shore." They are the people we have accepted for many generations, and now they are the people that this government is trying to throw out, regardless of what they're like. We need people that same humility today, one which accepts everyone to this country, as it once accepted our grandparents and parents. We need a humility in our lives that gives us the confidence to accept Jesus' will and the will of his Father in our lives, to seek only to please God and no one else. We begin our lives with a humble recognition of the need of God's grace in our lives, a grace sufficient to lead us throughout our everyday existence in this world and into the eternal existence of the next. If you drive an all-electric vehicle, an EV, and you get in an accident and it's your fault, can you be charged with battery? Everyone, have a good week and enjoy Labor Day weekend. God bless.